Covering news where you live. This is 5 News.
Well, thank you for joining us here today. I'm Joe Ellison. After an arrest turned violent in 2022, one of the now former Crawford County deputies involved, Zachary King, is changing his plea to guilty. It comes after a viral video shows King and 2 other law enforcement officers in a video, 2 of them hitting and kicking Randall Worcester during an arrest. King now faces a maximum penalty of 1 year in jail, a $100,000 fine, or both. He also agrees to no longer accept any law enforcement position in the U.S. and pay full restitution to the victim and his family. In Washington County, Casey Jennings of Fayetteville has pleaded not guilty to capital murder in the death of Allison Castro. Fayetteville police accused Jennings of killing Castro and disposing of her body. The plea came as a surprise move. The prosecuting attorney says his office expected a plea change from not guilty to guilty, but Jennings will now go on trial for the death of Allison Castro. Along with capital murder, Jennings faces 3 other felony charges: abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence, and theft. And the man behind the wheel when his car hit and killed a 4-year-old near Worcester is facing 3 charges. Miguel Reyes is facing first-degree manslaughter, driving a motor vehicle while under the influence of alcohol, and a misdemeanor for reckless driving. Troopers say he was intoxicated when he drove off the road near 250th Avenue and hit a 4-year-old in Worcester. His arraignment has been set for April 19th. We'll get to more news in just a minute, but first, let's get a look at that weather for you with meteorologist Zach Scott. Zach?
Hey, Joe. Yeah, a warm, windy spring day with a chance of a few spotty showers in there. Those rain chances really best here in the first half of the day. There's a front coming in, sunshine on the backside of the front. So as we go through the afternoon hours, I do anticipate we'll see sunshine trying to increase from west to east across 5 country. Again, not everyone's going to see rain. We'll go 40% chance of a shower. We'll try to get more of those low to mid 80s where we get more sunshine across the western half of the River Valley. Upper 70s, low 80s across the eastern, southeastern half of the River Valley. Upper 70s, low 80s with sunshine taking over in northwest Arkansas. Going to be a gusty one. Hold on to those hats. Gusts across the region, 30 up to 40 miles per hour. Joe?
Thanks for that, Zach. Well, we now have the details on an audit for that $19,000 podium purchase by Arkansas Governor's Office. For months, legislators have pored over documents related to the purchase. Then in October, lawmakers voted to audit it, which has drawn questions and scrutiny over its cost and public records surrounding it. 5 News reporter Rachel Williams has the latest on what that report is revealing.
According to the report, the committee found 7 areas of potential noncompliance with state law. The report notes that the payment for the podium before it was delivered resulted in a potential violation of state code. The report also notes that the bill of lading was shredded by a member of the governor's office staff, a potential violation of requirements for document retention. The auditors also found that 3 versions of the Beckett Events invoice, 2 of which contained a handwritten notion to be reimbursed. The report states the executive assistant to the governor's office, deputy chief of staff, made the handwritten note, altering public record after it was submitted by the governor's office. According to the audit, prior to the FOIA request related to the podium purchase, there was no indication that the governor's office was seeking reimbursement for the cost of the podium and road case. We spoke to state lawmakers ahead of the report's release.
There was nothing unethical about it, right? The governor wanted to buy a piece of furniture that happened to be expensive, but it's something that she was going to hopefully use for 8 years. That
$19,000 for a lectern that I'm not sure has been used once since its purchase, I think is just absolutely egregious, regardless of whether or not any rules were broken. It certainly seems like a gross misuse of taxpayer funds.
Now we reached out to the governor's office for a statement after the report was released. Alexa Henning, the governor's spokesperson, says, quote, "The facts outlined in the report demonstrate what the governor's office said all along. We followed the law, and the state was fully reimbursed with private funds for the podium at no cost to the taxpayers." Rachel Williams, 5 News.
Well, the Legislative Joint Auditing Committee who requested the report meets today to discuss the issue. You can read that full audit at 5newsonline.com. Meanwhile, lawmakers in the Arkansas State Legislature are considering changes to cryptocurrency laws. The Senate passed a bill Monday that could bring more oversight for cryptocurrency mining operations. The data centers started popping up in rural communities after lawmakers passed a state law last year protecting the industry. They can create a lot of noise, though, so now lawmakers lawmakers are considering changes addressing concerns from people who live nearby. The bill is one of many up for debate that propose changing or even getting rid of the law protecting crypto mines. Well, thank you for joining us here today for the latest news and weather where you live. Catch up with us again tomorrow right here for more.